Hey everyone, this is Michael Heelan. I am a candidate for the Select Board in Falmouth. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to Bob at FCTV for doing this. It's kind of a weird time, and I know I run a TV station as well, and doing all this stuff remotely is very difficult. So thanks for doing this. Just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Falmouth at Falmouth Hospital back when we had a maternity ward. Graduated high school in '98 from Falmouth. Went off to college, studied communications. About 13 years ago, I started a nonprofit media center in Rainham, and I lived at the time with my wife outside of Boston. We had our first daughter, and I said, we gotta go back to the Cape. I love the Cape, I grew up there. Let's go to Falmouth. We've been back now for about 5 years. The reason I'm running is this last year, it's shown me a huge deal of the discrepancies between certain people. I want to do this for the kids in our community. We need more sports fields. We did studies years ago that says we need more sports fields, and it hasn't happened yet. I want the kids to have those sports fields. When they built the senior center, which I was a fan of, I helped do some marketing with that. That was great, but at the time they took away the playground at the Gus Canty. That playground is sitting in storage. It's supposed to go to Sandwich Road Field. It hasn't yet. It's been years. Let's get that done. The other thing with anyone who has kids in town, the remote learning, a blessing and a curse. And then the biggest thing about remote learning is the fiber optic network. We have Comcast. It's old cable. It's not the best. We need more fiber optics. Some of the town's working on that. I would like to help push that together. And then another thing that happened recently, we need someone to fix 151. The markings are bad, it's dangerous. Once again, we did studies years ago, nothing's been done. So let's take all those studies we've done and start acting on this stuff. And finally, in the next few months, if elected, I would like to see the town get more involved with helping some senior citizens getting their COVID vaccinations. I myself have been reaching out to some seniors in our town and setting up appointments, making sure they have rides. I'm doing it, and I know other people are doing it in town too. I see the posts, but that needs to be something that the town addresses, whether it be a staff member, a volunteer committee, but let's get the most vulnerable their shots. Let's get back to normal, everyone. And once again, on May the 18th, please vote for Michael Heelan for Select Board. And I told Bob at FCTV one take, and I think I did it. So thank you all very much.
I am Anjali Price, a proud member of the Falmouth community running for Select Board. My first visit to Falmouth was in 2011, and it was love at first visit. The longer I stayed and the more people I met, the more I grew to love Falmouth. I love this community, the character, the people, and the values that they hold. And I believe in service of my community. Currently, I serve as a member of the Falmouth Affordable Housing Committee, the Woods Hole Diversity Advisory Committee, as co-host and co-producer of The Conversation here on Falmouth Community Television, and formerly as a big sister in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My undergraduate degree is in civil engineering from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I have completed some coursework in environmental and marine sciences, along with being an alum of SEA, that's Sea Education Association in Woods Hole. I proudly served in AmeriCorps doing science, technology, engineering, arts, and math projects with grade school students at the library. I volunteered on builds for Habitat for Humanity, and I participated in neighborhood cleanups as well. And I completed my service year while working full-time. I've worked a variety of jobs, ranging from sales associate, a civil engineer for my hometown of Moreno Valley, California, a program manager for Historically Black College, and previously the coordinator and now the co-director of the Woods Hole Partnership Education Program. And I'm also currently the Chief Operating Officer of Mizar Imaging in Woods Hole. Last summer, after working for Mizar for about 2 years, I went back to school and received my Master of Business Administration from Western Governor University. I'm running to serve as a member of the Falmouth Select Board because I am committed to our town's continued health, safety, and welfare. I will bring to the position of Select Board my experience, knowledge, and perspectives. I will also bring the qualities of respect, compassion, and integrity, qualities that the people of Falmouth expect and deserve. I have a great respect for our current select board, the way they work together and respect each other in their continued efforts to move Falmouth forward. My vision is to be a cooperative, positive collaborator on the select board to help continue moving Falmouth forward. It is my goal to represent the people of Falmouth, especially those whose voices are not always heard. The COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated challenges within our community, and no one's voice should be lost. As a member of the select board, it would be my job to represent all these people of Falmouth, so I plan to make myself available to get to know them. I will host regular Zoom hours and encourage people to talk to me, tell me what their issues are, bring me their ideas. I will advocate that when we are back in person, we keep an aspect of committee and select board meetings virtual to provide more accessibility to our community. I am a strong advocate for affordable and workforce housing, and I believe our community's continued economic success is dependent on it. I am committed to understanding and tackling the addiction crisis that we face, and I'm open to learning about how to best mitigate our water quality issues and prepare our infrastructure to deal with climate change. I'm committed to making Falmouth a more affordable, resilient, equitable, and inclusive community. Now, none of us have any control over where we're born, and likely not much over where we're raised. But as adults, we can choose where we want to be. Falmouth is where my husband and I purchased our home. Falmouth is where we want to grow our family. Falmouth is where we want to be. Falmouth is where we choose to be. You can learn more about me and my platform at my campaign website, electangeliscottprice.org. Thank you for your time, and I hope to earn your vote on May 18th.
Hi, my name is Michael Galasso. I'm running for a position on the Falmouth Housing Authority Board of Commissioners who oversee the Falmouth Housing Authority. There are 5 members. I'm running for a 5-year term. My background is I grew up here in Falmouth, went to Mullen Hall and intermediate school. That's what we called Morris Pond before it was called Morris Pond, and graduated from Lawrence High School. I've lived in the house right in front of Lawrence School since 1961. I went to Boston College, graduated there, went out to San Diego and went to graduate school at San Diego State University in specializing in urban planning. In 1986, I formed a real estate development company with my business partner, Jim Barone. We've been together for a little bit over 30 years now. We specialize in developing workforce affordable housing and revitalizing urban neighborhoods in San Diego and Sacramento. Developed a little bit over 1,200 affordable workforce housing units in that period of time. In 2008, I came back to Falmouth to take care of my mom, and I been working with a nonprofit renovating housing in the Vineyard, and then acquired and renovating 2- and 3-family homes in Brockton and New Bedford, and renovating those for first-time home buyers. I also converted the old library in Oak Bluffs on Circuit Avenue into 3 units of affordable housing. So I'm currently working on a 10-unit affordable housing project in North Falmouth. It will be 2 and 3 bedrooms. That should start construction in the next few months. So my whole professional career has been devoted to developing affordable housing, and I think I'm a good fit for the Falmouth Housing Authority. I'm also the past chairman of the Falmouth Economic and Industrial Corporation. We renovated, while I was the chairman, the bus station, the old train station on Depot Ave. We were able to obtain a $1.5 million grant from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation in order to renovate that building. We meaning the Falmouth EDIC, currently own and operate that under a 99-year ground lease with Mass DOT. And we're currently in the process of doing a master plan for the station and for the 2 acres of land around it. I was also involved as a chairman of the EDIC in developing with Citizens Energy, that's Joe Kennedy's company, the 6-megawatt solar project at the landfill. We took the landfill, which was costing the town a little bit over $100,000 a year and turned that into a solar farm that now produces about $750,000 worth of energy savings for the town's municipal buildings. So my experience is putting together very complicated financial packages for the development of affordable housing. And I believe I can help the Falmouth Housing Authority, which is one of the largest owners of affordable apartments in Falmouth, renovate their properties, expand, add more units, and improve the maintenance of them. I'm bringing my 30 years of experience to the Housing Authority in order to accomplish that. I've been able to secure numerous sources of funding for the affordable housing projects that I have developed. We would like to make the housing units that the Housing Authority owns more energy efficient, improve the living conditions for the current residents. The town recently adopted its housing production plan, which calls for 72 new units of affordable housing each year over the next 10 years. And it's going to take an effort by all of us in order to accomplish that goal. It's very important that we are able to provide housing in our community for the people who work here, whether they're school teachers, nurses, firemen, policemen, people who work in the retail establishment, the restaurants, the hotels, the shopping centers. We desperately need more housing. And with my experience, I believe that I can bring to the Housing Authority the ability to expand the number of units that they have, renovate the current ones that they have. So I would like to ask for your vote on May 18th for Michael Galasso for the Board of Commissioners of the Falmouth Housing Authority. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening.
Hi, my name is Lucy Helfrich, and I'm a first-time candidate for library trustee. I've always loved libraries. My hometown library was a fabulous institution. I remember its enormous children's room with high ceilings and many big windows that let in the sunshine. I was a voracious early reader, and I would check out a dozen or more books at a time to take home to read. I'd return the next week and do that all again. After college, when I moved to Falmouth in 1987, one of the first things on my to-do list was to visit the library and get a new library card. Over these last 3 decades, I've been an avid reader and library patron. My husband is too, along with our 3 now grown kids, whom we encouraged from babyhood to visit, use, and value the libraries. Falmouth libraries are a wonderful community resource that should be cherished and protected. They provide a wide variety of excellent services and programs. I have been impressed with the expansion of the main library, the improvements to the north and east branches, the meeting of challenges and opportunities posed by new information technology, and the growth in services for patrons of all ages. I also recognize and appreciate the library's skilled, committed, friendly, and helpful staff members who keep the buildings and all their offerings running smoothly. During the last difficult year, Falmouth libraries have been steadfast in their mission, continuing to offer materials lending and virtual programming when necessary, but also being safely open to the public when possible, providing members of our community access to important support and resources throughout the coronavirus pandemic. I commend this great work. A little more information about me. My volunteer experiences in Falmouth include serving as a VIPS volunteer for many years, with a stint on the Mullenhall Elementary School Council and several years as treasurer of the Mullenhall PTO. I also served on the board of Falmouth Flash, the girls' youth lacrosse league in town. While I don't have extensive involvement on volunteer boards, I've worked over the last 20 years as a staff member of the 300 Committee Land Trust, a local organization like the library that's committed to the Falmouth community. I've had the terrific opportunity to collaborate with, witness in action, and learn from a dedicated and very effective board of trustees. If I'm elected a Falmouth Library trustee, I will do my best to embrace and emulate many of my 300 committee board members' best qualities: commitment to the cause, staying informed and engaged, working well with others, being a good listener, asking informed and sometimes difficult questions, and always striving to carefully and wisely allocate limited financial resources. Falmouth libraries are key centers of learning and enjoyment. As a library trustee, I will embrace the role as advocate of these great institutions and I will work hard to broaden everyone's access to the growing array of valuable library services. Thank you for listening, and I hope I can count on your vote this May 18th.
Hi, I am Kathy Mount, running for library trustee. And I would like to thank FCTV and the League of Women Voters for giving me this opportunity to use their public channel to videotape a candidate statement. Also, many thanks to Bob Fenstermaker for all his time in contacting the candidates and coordinating and arranging the slots, and also for his patience. Thanks also to those of you who voted for me 3 years ago when I first ran for library trustee. During the past 3 years, I've learned a great deal about how our library functions. We are fortunate to have both an outstanding director in Linda Collins and her assistant, Jennifer Woodward. Working with them and other trustees has made my experience positive and enjoyable. My particular responsibility on the trustee board is with the Buildings and Grounds Committee. You might have noticed the boarded up windows on the Catherine Lee Bates side of the library. Work on the library building is a town responsibility. The library has been communicating with the town since 2019 about the need to restore the windows. Progress is being made, and it is my hope that this will be accomplished soon. The approval of the use of library property for various functions is also in the realm of the Building and Grounds Committee. One success in this area that so many of us have enjoyed was the placement of picnic tables on the library property. This idea originated to help with outdoor seating during the worst of the COVID pandemic. When the trustees meet on April 20th, this will be on our agenda, and I will support continuing to have the picnic tables out for public use. Before closing, I want to compliment the entire library staff for their outstanding work during COVID. The challenge of keeping the library open and then close and then open again would seem overwhelming, but we're all met with dedication to the job and with care for the community. Our library exhibited amazing resilience in finding ways to serve the public during COVID, and will continue to do so as the disease hopefully gets fully under control. In sum, I would appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve the Falmouth community as a library trustee. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Harris. I'm running for the planning board. I hope you're planning to vote on May 18th and have a plan for that. I'm running unopposed, but I'd still appreciate your vote. The planning board is responsible for long-range comprehensive planning and review of site plans. When people want to build something, not necessarily residential houses that are well within the bylaws, they're going to have to come to us for approval. We get complaints that it's slow. It is slow. We try to streamline the process, but we try to really carry out our responsibility, which is to approve things that contribute to the health and safety and character of the town. Our big projects over the last couple of years have been the accessory apartment bylaw, the solar overlay district, and design guidelines. I think you're probably aware of the accessory apartment bylaw. It's been quite a success. The solar overlay district has just barely gotten underway, and design guidelines also are barely beginning to have an effect. We've had a couple of controversial projects that you might have paid attention to. A developer, many times people have tried to develop the old Nautilus and the Dome. We now have an approved plan for the Nautilus and the Dome. There was a great deal of public concern and input, and it's now in court. We hope that that's going to come to fruition. The Cape Cod Country Club solar array recently created a great deal of interest and concern, and it was eventually approved and is moving forward to town meeting, where we hope it will get the approval that it needs. Looking ahead, the projects that we're going to be working on will complete recodification. People who've tried to use our bylaws are aware that it is an enormous thing. It's unwieldy. It's been growing for decades. It's been restructured. It hasn't been changed, but it's been restructured so that it's easier to use. And that too will be going to town meeting probably in November. Multifamily housing has been a goal of ours for some time as a way to bring under local control the 40B plans that are frequently a concern to us. So we hope that our new multifamily bylaw will be something that you like, something that you're going to see as being a great enhancement. It restricts building these big projects, potentially big, they could be any size, but potentially big projects in zones that are already scheduled as business 2 zones. So it will not be in agricultural or in residential zones. And we hope that that makes it very approvable. We'll also be working to complete form-based zoning, which is a complicated idea. And we hope that you're going to come to the hearings that we'll be holding and be paying attention to the material on the planning board's website. Right now, there's a survey there that you can take to register your opinions. We've had other surveys that you have put into so that we know that your idea, the public's idea of Falmouth's character is, this is no surprise, is it looks like Cape Cod housing. And that's good. We think that that's fine. We're going to continue to be streamlining things. And if what we'd really like is when we ask for input, that you react, that you let us know what you're thinking, because you're the people we're trying to please. And we're always seeking public input. I hope you give me a vote on May 18th. I'll appreciate it. It will certainly cheer me on, and it will keep our team together. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bob Leary, and I'm running for re-election to the planning board. I've been on the planning board now, this will be 12 years. And to me, it's been one of the most enjoyable and one of the most important things that I've done. Falmouth is an incredibly wonderful town, and I have tried to do my best to keep it that way. There are a lot of things that I saw before I was on the board that I didn't like that was going on, and I wanted to have an impact on how to keep Falmouth as unique and as wonderful and vibrant a community as it is. And as a planner, that's what you have to do. You have to kind of balance development with maintaining what makes a town special. And I think I've done that over the years, and I'd like to continue doing that. We have a lot of work to do. We've got some big initiatives coming along with multi-housing and Davis Straits redevelopment. And I want to be part of that decision, and I can be part of that decision-making process with your vote on May 18th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Williamdorfner, and I'm excited about the opportunity to serve the Falmouth community as a member of the school committee. Most of my work career has been spent working with youth. As a full-time youth director, I had the opportunity to work with students and their families through fun and exciting youth programs, weekly lessons, and mission trips. I also helped young people work through the difficult times in their lives and helped parents who were trying to navigate through their children's teenage years. During my career as a police officer, I worked as a school resource supervisor and school district liaison officer. I worked in some of the largest schools in the country, ensuring the safety of our students and working to foster positive relationships between the children, faculty, community, and the police. During this time, I partnered with the community to develop reading programs, bowling events, and movie nights. I worked with the schools to develop summer camp programs so parents had a place to bring their children when school was out. And I partnered with local colleges and companies like Boeing to develop a program for at-risk teens where we encourage them to follow their dreams and not allow circumstances in their lives to keep them from being the very best version of themselves. That brings me to why I'm running for school committee. There is no doubt that this has been a tough and unexpected year for everyone. But if we are to teach our children to overcome any obstacle that comes their way, then we need to model that. I know the school committee and leadership did what they felt was best. That does not mean that we shouldn't look at what was done and ask how it could have been done better. Some students thrived in a remote or hybrid model, but that does not mean that some students weren't left behind. There were many students in our community whose parents still had to go to work every day throughout the pandemic, and they didn't have the option of working from home. Healthcare is one of the largest industries on the Cape, and those workers were at work every day on the front line of the pandemic. Grocery store workers still had to be at work every day so we could all buy food. Police, EMS, and firefighters can't work remotely. Many of these workers have children in our schools. I have spoken with parents and listened to their stories of how their children have really struggled in the Falmouth schools, and not just throughout this past year. I've watched a single mom working in healthcare try to advocate for her son who was struggling, only to be told by the district that they couldn't or wouldn't meet her requests, or even ignored her at times, while other students were getting twice as much in-person instruction. Simply stated, the actions taken by the school district, even with the best of intentions, left some students behind, and that is simply not acceptable. Falmouth deserves better than that. As a member of the committee, I will make sure that we consider the needs of children from all walks of life in every decision we make. We can't always control what gets thrown our way, but we can control how we react to it. A leader is always examining their own decisions and actions and striving to improve at every turn. A leader is forward-thinking and plans and prepares for the future, whatever that may bring. A leader places others before themselves, and by doing so, a leader earns the trust of others. As I stated at the beginning of this, I believe that a high-quality public school system is central to a thriving and vibrant community. If given the opportunity to serve on the Falmouth School Committee, I will work hard to ensure that we as a committee earn the trust of our citizens and that our schools are meeting the needs of every student in our town. Thank you for your time to listen to this message. Again, my name is Williamdorfner, and I would appreciate your vote for Falmouth School Committee on May 18th.
Hi, I'm Kelly Welch. I'm running for my 4th time to be a member of the Falmouth School Committee. In my 7 years serving, because my first term was only 1 year, I have been chair twice, vice chair twice, and served on, I think, almost every one of the subcommittees. Just a little bit about me. I run a small nonprofit here in Falmouth called Team Maureen. We do cervical cancer and HPV prevention and education. I've worked in education-based nonprofits and public schools for my entire career. I even used to be a 7th grade science and social studies teacher. But definitely my most cherished role is that I'm a mom of 2 incredible kids who attend Falmouth Public Schools. So it's sort of a strange position to be in, being in an uncontested race. I've had this happen to me before, and granted, I am thrilled to be able to start planning to come back for another 3-year term and continue working with such incredibly dedicated administration and staff in the school district, and also a wonderful school committee team. But it is a little bit weird, and a strange part of me does wish that every race in Falmouth was a contested one, because I know there are incredible people who could bring amazing perspectives and different experiences to all the positions in town. So although it's an uncontested race, I'm grateful to be part of it. And I hope that you'll turn out on May 18th and vote hopefully for me, but especially for the other positions that are contested and the local precinct meeting, local precincts where your town meeting members are elected to represent you. Thank you for your time in watching this, and thanks for taking the time on the 18th to vote.